Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here, and Dead by Daylight put out a tweet with a developer update about some changes that they have made from the public test build for the end transmission chapter with Gabriel Soma and the Singularity. So we're going to go ahead and read what the changes are going to be when they put out the new chapter on June the 13th. So here we go. As we get ready to blast off, we have a few adjustments for the end transmission chapter to share with you. And when you click the link, it takes you to the official Dead by Daylight forums, developer update end transmission. Okay, here we go. Last week, the upcoming end transmission chapter hit the public test build, and since then, we've been watching very closely to see what you have to say about it. While it's been a pleasure seeing so many people enjoying the new content, we've also caught on to a few pain points which we plan to address before the chapter goes live on June the 13th. In this post, we'd like to take a moment to share our findings as well as the changes you can expect to see when the update goes live. The Singularity. First up, we'll cover the new killer, the Singularity. This AI-driven android launches biopods around the map. These biopods not only allow it to surveil the surroundings, but also inflict survivors with a temporal slipstream, allowing the Singularity to teleport to them. Survivors can fight back using EMPs found around the map, granting them the ability to remove temporal slipstreams and temporarily disable biopods. We found that while the EMPs were effective in countering the Singularity's power, too many of them lead to frustrating matches for the killer. This is something that was echoed in your feedback. Many felt that their biopods were disabled too often, and survivors almost always had an EMP at hand just in case. We want to keep EMPs meaningful and worth seeking out for survivors, so for the release, we are instead reducing the number of EMPs available through the following changes. Decrease the number of supply cases on the map to 5 instead of 7. And supply cases now take 90 seconds to print an EMP passively. It was 80 seconds. Interacting with the supply case prints an EMP 4 times faster. Additionally, survivors who are currently holding an EMP will no longer see the aura of supply cases to reduce visual clutter and make it harder to efficiently chain together multiple EMPs. Another piece of feedback we received is that it wasn't very clear when biopods were disabled. During the PTB, the only way to tell you were controlling a disabled biopod was the color of the targeting reticle. This isn't immediately obvious if it's your first time playing the Singularity, so we've revisited these visuals to make it more clear. Yeah, so when you would look through the biopod, it would be red if it was disabled. You could still use it for camera, but you couldn't like target survivors through it if it was disabled here. All right. Lastly, we've added a meter to the power icon to represent overclock duration. This will give you a better idea of how long it will last after teleporting, so you can get you can better plan your next move. At the same time, we've updated 2 add-ons, the Diagnostic Tool Repair and the Nano Machine Gel, to be active during overclock rather than after teleporting in order to make it clearer when the effects are active. Okie dokie. Now, they had some proposed executioner changes, but I heard that this has been pushed back. Let's see what this is all about. For Pyramid Head. The Executioner. During the PTB, we made a change which allowed the Executioner's Punishment of the Damned attack to inflict torment. The goal with this change was to give the killer more ways to consistently apply torment on careful survivors who were able to avoid torment trails. While this absolutely had the intended effect of spreading more torment, we've also read some concerns regarding how this could be used to more effectively camp and tunnel. Since Punishment of the Damned can hit multiple survivors, an unhook leaves both survivors ripe for unavoidable torment. Since it's not possible to take protection hits to prevent a survivor from being sent to the cage, we felt it was safer to reverse this change for the time being. I see. All right, perks. Scavenger. Yeah, this is the one people were saying is OP. I didn't really feel like it was, but Scavenger. We received a lot of feedback surrounding one of Gabriel Soma's perks, Scavenger. This perk allows the user to replenish a toolbox's charges by hitting great skill checks and rummage through an open chest to find a guaranteed toolbox. Many have voiced concerns over how powerful this effect can be when paired with a strong toolbox, doubling the value of an already strong item. More specifically, it allowed the survivor to replenish their toolbox while continuing to work on generators, unlike Built to Last, which requires them to leave the generator and hide in a locker. For the release, we have made a few changes to this perk to make it less of a clear choice. We've increased the number of great skill checks necessary to 5. It was 4. And once activated, your generator repair speed is reduced by 50% for 30 seconds. Scavenger can now be used more than once per trial. Interesting. With these adjustments, Scavenger becomes more effective when used to repair generators in short bursts, but heavily discourages continuing to repair a generator for some time after it is activated. Efficient survivors will instead want to plan accordingly and spend this time elsewhere, such as healing, unhooking, searching for totems, and so on. That's an interesting change. I saw some people say that it shouldn't have the replenishment aspect at all, and it should just be like a pharmacy where you're guaranteed to get a toolbox out of a chest, which that would be like completely useless, because by the time you go and find a chest and pilfer through it to get a toolbox, the amount of time that a toolbox will save you on repairing a gen, you might as well have just stayed on the gen the whole time and not gone looking for the toolbox. That would have made it completely useless. Okay, so this is an interesting compromise. We'll see where it goes here. This is also interesting about how you can use it more than once, so we'll see. We'll see how that works out here. But I do understand that, you know, that this component is necessary to reduce the generator repair speed, so you're just not just powering through, hitting these grates, and doubling your toolbox for free. So we'll see where it goes. All right, machine learning. This perk allows the killer to compromise the generator by kicking it. When the compromised generator is powered, the killer receives haste for some time. Try as you might, it's inevitable that a few generators will be powered eventually. With this perk, we want to add some risk to completing a recently damaged generator, granting the killer a major speed increase if you're not careful. This perk only activates under strict conditions, so we want to make sure it's effective when it kicks in. For the release, we have increased the haste effect to 10% instead of 7%. In practice, this means that a killer will catch up to a sprinting survivor upwards of 66% faster. Interesting. Forced hesitation. Forced hesitation causes nearby survivors to become hindered when a survivor is put into the dying state, making it easier for the killer to switch targets and get additional hits on overly altruistic survivors. On the PTB, this perk had some pretty safe values to make sure it didn't get out of hand. Upon further review, we've decided to show it some love before the update releases. Increases the hindered effect to 20% up from 15%, and decrease the cooldown to 30 seconds from 40 seconds. With this, forced hesitation will make it very risky to be near another survivor as they're put into the dying state. Ooh, those background players are not going to like that. We want to give a special thank you to everyone who took the time to leave feedback after playing the PTB. You can expect to see all the adjustments mentioned in this post when the End Transmission chapter releases on June 13th. As always, we'll be keeping an eye out for your feedback once these changes go live. Until next time, the Dead by Daylight team. All right, so are you excited for the new chapter? As always, I imagine I'm going to have some codes for the chapter to give out on launch day. So I'll start giving out free copies of the DLC to anybody who is watching me stream live on Twitch. And yeah, we'll give those out for a couple of days until they're all gone. And most likely, there will be an exclusive cosmetic item. Normally, it is for the survivor associated with a chapter. So probably if you buy the, probably Gabriel Soma will have an exclusive torso item cosmetic for people who buy the entire DLC from their platform shop. So keep an eye out for that. If you're someone who collects all of the cosmetics or as many as possible, remember that buying the DLC is going to be the only way that you can get that instead of buying the characters individually in the cosmetic game store, right? So you'll have to get it through your platform shop. All right, that's all I have for you today. As always, thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate the time that you spend here with me on my channel, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life.